Facebook.
Hey, look, we're live testing out our new studio for the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. Uh, I'm Ron. This is the other guy's Phil.
Hey, everybody.
And we're going to have 2 or 3 minutes of testing here before we actually get started. So, please let us know if you can hear us and if we're coming through loud and clear. And if you want, send us notes about where you're logging in, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. Hmm.
And if you're on Facebook, please make sure you go over to YouTube and check out our new YouTube channel. We're going to be using it a lot more than we have so far, which has not been much, but in the future, please stop by, like, and subscribe.
Why does it still say go live here? That's strange. Shouldn't say go live here. Very odd. I thought we fixed that. Hmm. All right. So, where is it all streaming to there, Phil?
Let's see here. I'm out on YouTube right now. I'm unsure.
It is not streaming to our group.
No. There's a countdown, though,
Is there?
in the lower left-hand corner. You can see it's like if you click on the Friday Night Live on YouTube, there's a countdown counting down to 9:30.
Is it? On our group or on our page?
The YouTube page. Says there's one person waiting.
I don't see the countdown. Where do you see the countdown?
It just went away, and it just says waiting for Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo in the lower left-hand corner. If you click on Friday Night Live.
Well, I'm seeing it live. I'm seeing it live on our page right now.
On YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, on
Facebook.
On Facebook, I see it live. Oh,
Okay. Now
the captions are on.
Yeah. Where? All right. Yeah, we're on YouTube now. It's already started recording.
Okay.
And I'm on YouTube and I see it live.
Oh, great. Very interesting. Wait for a few people to jump on board and then we'll get that going.
See, Matt's joined us. Matt Elias. Hey, Matt.
Where are you seeing this?
It's both in YouTube and it's pulling over comments from YouTube into Restream on the right-hand side.
Huh. Interesting. There we go. As we test this thing out, and we appreciate everybody's patience. So I don't think we have this set up right. So we're going to go here, and we're going to share this to our group, Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. And we are live. Okay. Let's see if that works. Shared to your group, view post. And we are live in our Facebook group. Look at that. Very interesting. Okay. Phil, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. Everyone, welcome. This is the first time we're going to try this out here, live streaming for the Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo. I'm Phil, and with me is Ron this evening. And we are going to try to do some pretty regular live streams in the future. Some of the rough plans that we have for the channel include, of course, talking about Paige, and also additionally talking about some of the things like our special guests that'll be there, and hopefully maybe having an opportunity to bring some of them on for short interviews and chats about gaming in general, and perhaps maybe what they're involved with at Paige going forward. And additionally, just perhaps maybe just having a roundtable on gaming in general and getting some thoughts out there. We all enjoy the same types of things in general, and we try to keep it laid back here. Hopefully, a lot of the folks that will end up joining us will have met us personally and know us, that we're easygoing folks.
So, as we work our way through this technology, which we're struggling a little bit with, we are going to give you regular updates on Friday nights. We're going to have people in for interviews with us. We'll have on staff members and volunteers and special guests and vendors and creators and everybody like that. But tonight, we're going to talk about a few things. And the first thing we're going to talk about is our plans for at least one avenue of organized play at Paige this year. And that's Wardens of the Eastern Marches. And let Phil fill everybody in on that.
That's right. To follow up with what Ron just said there. So let's start with just getting a really general sense of what we mean when we say organized play. And the elevator speech kind of goes like this: organized play, whether you're playing D&D or whether you're playing some other role-playing game, there's lots of systems that support organized play programs, in where you create characters, you run adventures, either at a game store that has the program up and running, or at a convention, and you can take that character and you can play that in other scenarios, either with the same people, let's say, for instance, at a game store that's running it weekly or what have you, or in a convention setting where you can take that character and then just basically plug it right in. And typically, organized play programs come with some pretty distinct rules of particular source books that you can use, and the rules are sometimes tweaked in order to try to facilitate that as best they can, so you don't get players that are wildly overpowered in comparison to other players as well. And so we have a plan at Paige to introduce at least one organized play system we may have opportunities for more. We're still in chats with other folks. But right now, we are going to definitively run a new organized play program that is getting put together by Gamehole Publishing with our friends out at Gamehole Con and Alex Kammerer in Wisconsin. We've talked to Alex, and their program is a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition organized play program, but it differentiates itself from, say, for instance, what Wizards of the Coast does with their Adventures League. And some of the important differences are the rules are kind of very light as to what is allowed and what's not allowed. For instance, the program will allow a player to theoretically bring in a character from not just D&D, but also other 5e variants like Tales of the Valiant from Kobold Press and Level Up Advanced 5th Edition from EN World Publishing, and a couple of the other 5e variants that are currently out there and that are being supported. It comes down really to a GM having a bit of a negotiation with their players in the short term as they're getting together around the table in a convention setting or a game store setting for wardens and playing within a specific campaign world. Hi, Wes. I just saw Wes just saying hello. And going forward that way. So this will debut. The first Warden's Adventure will debut at GameholeCon in October of this year. And as you know, Page is just a few short months after that. And we will be, I specifically will be doing the organizing for the Warden's component to Page in January of 2025. And we have other folks joining on. Hi, Vinny. Good evening. Good evening. And if you're interested, we've already put a call out, and I've got some communications with some of the other potential GMs for that. But we're looking to run, I don't know, Ron, 10 tables, maybe something along those lines. That's still up in the air. We'll figure that out. But we're going to give it a whirl. Ron and I will be out at Gamehole Con in Wisconsin in October. We were there last year. We had a blast. If you haven't been, you need to put it on your calendar. Talk about if you don't know, GameholeCon is North America's largest RP centered convention. Yeah, you've got Gen Con and the big guys, but GameholeCon is RPGs, and it's about 7,000 folks. So we highly advise you. And Alex has been a great partner to work with, and he's joining us again at Page 3. So see other folks hopping in. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Just filling in everybody on Wardens of the Eastern Marches right here. I literally have. Here's the book. Here's the intro book for the setting. But anyway, look forward to everyone hopping in on that opportunity at Page 3 coming January.
Okay, so we're going to update you on a few vendors that have signed on over the past week to attend Page 3. They include Goodman Games, which they were at Page 1. They were not at Page 2, but they're coming in at Page 3, and very happy to have them back on board. GUI Cube and their fearless leader Alphinius Goo will be on hand for Page 3, which is absolutely outstanding. In addition, we've got WizKids coming out, and they're going to be bringing a full display and partnering with us for some special events at Page. We have the
Ron, real quick, are you a minis guy?
Am I a minis guy? I don't know. Am I?
Yeah.
Am I a minis guy? Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Am I a minis guy? Oh boy. Am I a minis guy? What do you think?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. The reason I say that is, of course, I personally am very excited that WizKids are going to be there. So if you like your minis, folks, if you like your terrain, like for instance Warlock tiles, I am super excited that WizKids is going to be there. So I just hope you are as well.
yeah, it's great, and there's a note about Get the Game Show from GUI Cube. I believe that the uh, the GUI Game Show will be taking place at page 3 as well. All the elements are there to make it happen, so we're going to do what we can to ensure that happens. And that'll be in addition to other game shows we have, such as the Knowledge Trivia Contest hosted by Ronan Wong. That'll be back for round 2 this year. Round 1 at page 2 was very exciting, so there's no reason to believe that round 2 won't also be great. But that we're not done with some of these new vendors that are coming in. We've got North America's, or arguably North America's, largest gaming retailer, Games and Stuff, from Glen Burnie, Maryland, uh, coming in, and they have a booth, and um, they're going to be supplying a couple of special guests for us, and they're going to be running games, and they've graciously agreed to help our Becca Swesney curate the board game library with some of the latest titles. So we're excited about that partnership. And boy, oh boy, uh, you know, we're going to have Dwarven Forge on site as well. And the owner, Stefan's going to be running some great games, including a charity game for us. So that is just outstanding. Our vendor room has really come together. Um, there are a couple hidden gems in there that are going to be attending as well. We've got Inner City Games that's going to be there. We've got Bat in the Attic Games. We've got Wizard Tower Games. Uh, you know, the list goes on and on. And then we have our cornerstones, Troll Lord Games, Pace Setter, our dear friend from Mr. E's Game World, Jim Evangelisti, will once again be a big cornerstone in the vendors area. And on top of that, we've got folks like Darlene who are going to be in the vendor area as well. So uh, it's great to have iconic artists like Darlene and Jeff D. Really uh, anchoring that vendors area. But then uh, we have great manufacturers and great retail partners who are going to be out to really make the expanded vendor area page exciting.
Yeah, to follow up on that, and a couple of other folks. I see Matt McLeod there in the chat. Matt, we'll see you next week, or I'll see you next week at GaryCon. So hello. Um, Getting ready for that as well. It'll be a good time. Hopefully, some of the other folks that are page regulars and attendees will be out there as well for us to perhaps get together and say hello.
Yeah, I'm unfortunately going to miss GaryCon because I have the painful duty of having to go to Hawaii for work. So
Yeah, yeah,
sorry, Luke. It's
yeah,
Hawaii.
yeah. He's not kidding. That's not some sort of a joke. That's literally where Ron will be while I'm freezing. Actually, no. If you've ever been to GaryCon, the Grand Geneva, where it takes place, is an extremely comfortable and cozy environment, and it's a really good time. But yes, Wes, sacrifices must be made. Apparently, that's a
Yes.
hell of a flight. But that's one of the painful
Yeah.
parts of it is the flight.
And speaking of sacrifices, Wes Allen, I am cutting my trip short to Hawaii and flying back Thursday so I can make sure I'm at EcclesiaCon in Palmyra, New Jersey on Friday and Saturday. Uh, I think I think I think you will be Ronless on Sunday, but I'll be at EcclesiaCon that's hosted by Wes Allen, uh, running games and auctioneering the auction. So very excited about that. I know Anthony Simeone's going to be there running games. Ed Stark will be there as a guest. The lovely and talented Elise Paxson, who was in this very room I'm sitting in now, uh, less than 45 minutes ago, playing her half orc warrior Braca. Um, and she'll be out there, and it's going to be a good time at EcclesiaCon. Uh, roll some dice, do some good at EcclesiaCon, and you can find everything you need to know about EcclesiaCon at ecclesiacon.com. And if you can't spell it, then you're going to have to say 10 Hail Marys later on.
I just thought of something. It's probably worth a second or two reminding folks that the event submissions have opened now for page 3. So if you've missed that, please start to think about what you'd like to run and get those ideas into us as we begin to sort of start sifting through them. Remember, events don't have to just be games. If you feel like you have something else that you want to try and help host at page 3, that might be a panel or seminar, it might be other sort of tournament event or something like that. Let us know. Submit the application into the event submissions in the website at Tabletop Events, so that we can take a look at it and then see whether or not it's a good fit and how to get it scheduled on the schedule as we continue to start to work with the new map. Because as you know, and again, this is probably an important thing to remind folks as well, that next year we will be adding 82,000 square feet of floor space to the convention. So if you went to page 1 and page 2, the flow of the physical flow of the pedestrian traffic through the space will definitely be different as we expand. And that is not a theoretical, that is actually going to happen. And so we're going to have a lot of opportunities for a lot of new space to do big and better things. We thought about page 2 going into the big space, but we decided that year 3 was a better fit for the evolution of the convention. So think about getting those events in and those ideas or what have you. We have not decided on when the window closes for event submissions. It will be in the indeterminate future, but sooner rather than later, I would advise.
Yeah, and we're really blessed. We have over 100 event submissions already.
And how many events did we have total last year? Page 2, I believe, it was in the 500s.
It was in the 500s. That's correct.
Yeah. So we're already 20%. Well, I mean, that's if we approve all of those submitted events. But so they're rolling in. And if you haven't gotten a badge yet, friends, you have to hop on there, and you're going to miss out. Get those badges.
Yeah. Gold badges are, I believe, sold out. I'd have to check, but the 4-day pass is there, and a slight change this year from previous years. You don't have to have a gold badge to attend Thursday, but you will have to have a gold badge to attend certain events on Thursday. So we are, the convention's expanding by leaps and bounds, and one concern we have is that we're adding all this space. Are we going to look a little empty on the gaming side? But we plan on having quadrants set up throughout the large hall, broken up by pipe and drape. One thing we can report that I'm sure many people will be excited about is our seminars will be in a large room, but by themselves, away from everything else. Not impact the sound from the microphone will not be impacting games within the game hall. We will have 2 to 3 different seminar areas at Page this year, in addition to a couple of live streaming areas. The auction will be held in a private room at the convention center, and we're really excited. We have more bathrooms too, so that's really excited. We're adding. We're going to have a total of 4 men's rooms and 4 women's rooms, all with multiple toilets and urinals for the men's room, which we know is going to be exciting to everybody. So nothing is, nobody's going to have to wait in a line.
Right. What about food, Ron? Is there any updates on food on site for the new space?
Well, we have a full blown concession stand that will be on site. And there will be an eating area around the concession stand, and that will border the open gaming area and the board gaming area, where which is essentially a lot of open gaming at Page because of the use of the board game library. So that's going to be pretty cool. I am attempting to negotiate with the convention center to buy out the exclusive contract of the company that runs a concession stand, to say, hey, we'll guarantee your profit and you can still sell inside, but we want to have food trucks, allow us to have food trucks. That still remains to be seen. They'd be foolish not to do it, because they're guaranteed their profit. And, that's what we're trying to do there. I'm going to put a comment up on the screen here. Hopefully not, is the answer to that question. I understand we're going to have a bunch of Canucks at the convention this year, even if John and Charlie can't make it back to Page this year because of the weakness of the Canadian dollar.
Well, Ronan's always our token Canadian.
Ronan's nobody's token. Don't put Ronan in a corner. A fun fact, and occasionally we're going to be dropping knowledge on you about Page and about like some of the inner workings of Page. And when we do that, know that as Phil, who's a school teacher in the real world, we'll call it, they may be on the test for the Nerdy Knowledge Trivia Contest. So it's worth your while to watch these, because we're going to drop things like, little hints about things that are going to happen, or fun facts about Page. So we'll drop a few things on you every once in a while, and you remember them, and if you're in the Nerdy Knowledge Trivia Contest, which if you win, you get a you get a gold badge for the following year, which is pretty sweet.
Well, was it
actually a lifetime?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. If you're unaware, for the Nerdy Knowledge, I did not. I watched. I did not compete because I didn't need the gold badge for life. But again, think about that, friends. A gold badge for life. As long as Page is a thing, you get to come and not just attend, but you get to attend as a gold badge holder. That is quite a prize. I do believe second place. Now that is the gold badge, I believe, for the next
Yeah,
year's
they get to
con.
come back and try to challenge for the title the following year,
Right.
which
And
which is great.
and just to give you a sense of like the types of questions that were asked by Ronan. I know one of the questions was that's by the way stumped. Nobody got this one right. Was what do the letters BECME actually stand for? So you folks out in the crowd that are part of the old school, maybe TSR crowd, those are the types of questions that were being asked.
That's an
Um,
that's an
I,
easy one. What's going
I
on?
I thought it was kind of easy myself. There were specific Forgotten Realms questions. They were specific Planescape questions. So if you feel your TSR, your D&D stuff in general, Brian says he knows that one. There were other questions just about role playing games in general. So if you think you know something, it's probably worth registering for that event. Troy's asking. He says, "Basic Expert Companion Masters Immortal?" Question mark.
No, it has to be the answers have to be in the form of a statement. So I have to hit the buzzer on that one, Troy.
Yeah, this isn't Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Uh, I personally would have thought that there would have been more contestants. So if you're unsure what goes on in there, I would highly recommend uh, attending that for next year because it was very fun. I'm a trivia geek. I absolutely love trivia. It was hard for me not to enter that myself, just because I really like trivia a lot. And some of the questions that I thought were kind of basic were stumping some of the folks. There were a lot of like kids there with parents, and the kids they didn't. They're not going to probably answer a question like, "What does BECME stand for?" But it's a good time and a lifetime gold badge on the table for your taking. Just got to win.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark, you do have to start studying for that because, I mean, lifetime gold badge, it's going to be a savings of $150 plus every year, plus all the free gear you get with a lifetime with a gold badge every year.
Yeah.
Speaking of gear, we did open up merchandise sales this week and pre-orders for T-shirts, but most importantly, our new custom Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo dice sets and Philadelphia Area Gaming Expo dice bags, and that's going to be very exciting to roll those out. And I've got something else brewing, which I should be able to show off next Friday. Uh, Assuming it looks good when it comes in, but it'll be a little bit of a surprise. But another piece of merchandise that people have been asking for, and we're actually going to. I've sent out and had some samples done, and we'll see what they look like when they arrive, and hopefully we'll share them. Phil, what else do we want to go over tonight?
Let's see. Looking at my notes, I don't know. I think we may have hit it pretty hard. Looks like we've been live for about a half an hour at this point.
Hmm.
I think these updated live streams we're going to try to keep them till around a half an hour, so that we don't keep you folks too late on a Friday night, unless you really enjoy listening to us to yammer on. But in the future, when we perhaps maybe have guests, or we have a very specific gaming topic that we want to try to get discussed, there'll always be page updates going forward. We may not have something every week that's completely as in depth as we did this first show, but we're open to soliciting topic ideas as well. Like, what do you want to hear us talk about? Do you have ideas for things that you would like Ron and myself to talk about as we continue with this? So I don't know.
Let's we're going to close with some questions, but before we get to the questions, um, I do want to bring something up, and I'm sure Phil will agree with me. We've added Ed Stark from West End Games and TSR. Uh, you know, uh, Former TSR employee as well, to our staff as our special guest coordinator, and he's doing a lot more than just special guest coordinator. But he's really been an outstanding addition to our team, and probably exactly what we needed as we were growing, because he works very hard, and we're going to have him on the show here every once in a while as well, joining us. But boy, what an outstanding addition he's been, and we're glad to have him.
Yes, just to follow up on that, the three of us are almost in constant contact with each other, either on a daily or definitely multi times a week on all sorts of various topics that we are working on behind the scenes as we continue. And just so you know, Ron always says, Page and the planning that we do for Page is a full court 365-day a week press. We already did our breakout meeting a week after the con back in January already, where we sat down with a lot of the staff for probably something around 8 hours on a Saturday after the con to try to figure out what went well and what are some areas that we need to improve on. But it is a constant thing that we're working on to try to put forth uh, through a 365-day full court press. Did I say week? I meant year. If I said week, but then sometimes it feels like 365 days a week. I got to tell you. But So yeah, sometimes we'll get messages from some folks asking questions like, Already you're looking for this information for me already?" And yes, we are, because we want to make sure that we've got everything in place as we are continuing to try to grow Page into really what I think myself and Ron and others feel will hopefully evolve into the premier RPG gaming convention on the Eastern Seaboard or on the East Coast. So as those lucky ducks out in the Midwest have had for years, where they get the pick of the litter with Gamehole Con, Gary Con, Gen Con, things like that. I think those of us that live on the East Coast have been yearning for something like Page for a very long time. And because we believe that Page can position itself to do that and be that, that's our goal, is to continue to just have folks find out about the con and want to experience a very well done RPG focused convention, where anybody that has been playing games for 45 years, or someone that has never rolled a d20 in their entire lives, wants to walk in the door and sit down and feel welcome and learn how to play what probably I know I do, and probably Ron feels the same way, is probably the best pastime or hobby that one can get themselves involved with. And whether you are 12 or whether you're 112, this is something that you can do for your entire life. I likely can't play golf my entire life, but I can sit down at a table and roll dice and tell stories with my friends and expand my mind and keep relationships active in a face-to-face type situation. That's what conventions are for, folks. I go to a lot of them. I love them. I think about them all the time, and I think about this specific one all the time as well. So, um, yeah.
So I was just going to say, we were going to end with a few questions and a little preview of next week's show. And Chris Robinson jumped the gun and asked a good question. Um, he's saying, "What's the capacity of the convention center?" It depends. Is the fire marshal there? Um, but the reality is, the reason we like the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, I mean, it's not because it's a beautiful, shiny new convention center, but it will allow us to grow the convention as the convention grows on its own. Meaning, we started off with the two halls, which about 32,000 square feet, give or take, and then we had the space at the hotel. Well, now we've opened up another 82,000 square feet, and there's still another 165,000 square feet that we could eventually expand into over the course of time. The other part is that it's easy for vendors. There's free parking, and while it's no frills, Page is kind of no frills. I mean, we've got great guests and everything else, but we're really about the gaming and about gaming and bringing in great guests and keeping a good ratio of guests to convention attendees. And we want those guests to be accessible. We don't want them hiding in a green room somewhere, or, walking around and glad handing for an hour and then disappearing. We want you to be able to interact with those people, and most importantly, we look for guests who want to interact with you. If people don't want to interact with our attendees, then they're not going to come. We're not going to bring them in as guests. And, we're not going to call folks out by name, but it becomes pretty evident who the folks are who, uh, aren't making themselves available at the convention when they've been there as guests. Their names drop off the list and they don't come back. And that's us doing that. So that's very important to us. The other thing that's very important to us with the convention is, you know, we have PAX, and PAX is great, for what it is. It's quite different than Page, obviously. Uh, but, if you wanted to really get involved in a convention like that, and run games and kind of have, start a tradition at the convention by running certain games or a certain style of game, or joining staff, or being able to put your fingerprint as a local Philadelphia area gamer, or even, we have great support from all around the country. If you want to get your fingerprint in on a convention, Page is great for that, because we want everybody to be involved and feel like it's their home convention, even if it's not their home in terms of proximity. But we want people to enjoy the convention and feel like, they're along for the ride. And it's part of the reason we're very transparent with everything that's going on and the way we talk about things on social media. uh, we want you to share the journey with us and be a part of that journey. And if you want to come and volunteer or run games or join our staff or whatever it is, the options out there, and it's open to people to get involved. And that was very important. We didn't want people to feel like they were on the outside looking in. So, hopefully I articulated that properly, because it's really the way I feel about it, and I know Phil shares the same vision. It's why he and I get along so well. But um, before we log off, does anybody have any questions? I mean, people are shooting questions uh, here and there in the chat, and you know, we'll take three questions from the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them honestly and openly. Just shoot them right into the chat there.
What's the D&D spell where you can ask questions of your god? What is that? What is that spell?
Augury?
Is that augury? I can't remember now.
Or divination?
Is that what it is? Divination? Yeah.
If there are no questions, no additional questions other than the ones that have already been asked, we're gonna cut this loose. But go ahead and ask anything. We'll field questions. We'll give you another 30 seconds to shoot them over here, and if there are no additional questions, we'll log off. Hold on.
Commune. There's Joe.
Commune. There
Commune.
he
Yeah.
is.
I was waiting for somebody to have my back. I knew somebody knew knew the spell. Um, uh,
Um, Go
as
ahead.
people are, I'll just say, as people are potentially typing in questions, I will. I led off by saying this. If you're watching on Facebook, it looks like a lot of the comments are coming in via Facebook. Please remember that we also are streaming this to YouTube as well. We did recently start a YouTube channel, so this is YouTube is where this will be housed. So these broadcasts will be housed on YouTube. So if you want to go back and rewatch anything or what have you, YouTube is where it's at. And of course, you can find us at the Philadelphia Gaming Expo on YouTube. Like and subscribe. And I'm sure you've heard, if you watch a lot of YouTube like I do, I watch a lot of YouTube. Um, the more subscriptions, the more watches we can get on there, the higher we, get suggested up into the algorithmic recommendations by people who are looking for RPG content. So let folks know that we're on YouTube right now, and spread the word. We all know that Facebook is how we get a lot of our information out to folks, but as the con grows, we also are looking into other things like YouTube. So it's a great opportunity. So hop over there and like the page.
Mhm. Yeah, please subscribe, like, and subscribe. If everybody who's online now, I've posted the link in on the screen there. Like and subscribe to our page. We'd like to hit 100 subscribers soon. Um, I do want to. There's a question here. It says, "Are we going to post a list of things we need for page 3, like a
Donations,
like
purchase
an
donations.
Amazon wish list, which we did last year, and so many people were so generous." Um, one of the things that we're going to keep building infrastructure with are televisions, because we can take the televisions and they can interplay with our CRM at tabletop events. We can actually put them outside of areas and basically roll the schedule through so people can see what the available games are in a particular room. We can use them as wayfinding signage, and TVs are relatively inexpensive. Last year we were sent 6 TV stands and no TVs. Even though the TV stands in some cases were the same price as TVs. So, if we could get cheap, 30 plus inch flat screen TVs, they often go on sale. If anybody has anything like that they want to share, or computer monitors that they'd like to share with us, um, we have plenty of laptops that we can hook these things up to and really leverage the power of tabletop events and some of the great things it can do. We're also going to be looking for um, more whiteboards and more cork boards and combination boards for around the convention site. Um, so those are some things that are going to be on the list, and we'll put that together soon. As things start rolling closer to the convention. Um, just a little outlook in the next week. Uh, One, he doesn't know it yet, but I'm announcing it now. We're going to have Wes Allen from EcclesiaCon on next. Oh, we're getting some feedback from
No,
Phil's end.
that's me. I was checking my phone, our YouTube stream, to see what it was looking like. Sorry.
Okay. We're gonna have Wes Allen on next Friday, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about EcclesiaCon because it's coming up, but also some of the things that he's been able to observe and share in at Page. I actually, uh, I'll let Wes tell the story, but I pulled Wes aside on Thursday night at Page and asked him to throw a little prayer. Not that I'm necessarily religious, but we had weather coming in, and he was nice enough to do that, and everybody got home safe in the snow. In fact, I think the only injury there was me when I fell flat on my face in the snow loading the trailer back up. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're also going to talk about a couple of new features that are going to be uh, new this year at Page. One of them being an interview booth that will be running all 4 days at the convention, and we're going to have a rotating group of interviewers come in, and we'll start to announce who some of those interviewers are going to be as over the months leading up the Page. We've already confirmed at least one of them, and we'll talk about that a little bit next week. And finally, we have something very special planned with Kelsey Dion and Shadow Dark for Page next year that we're going to be real happy to talk to you about. And I shouldn't say finally. There's one other thing we're going to talk about next week. We have a new initiative that we're going to roll out and talk about on the program next week as well. And it's we're always trying to get more people involved at Page and in gaming in general, and we're going to detail what we're going to be doing moving forward with that.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, just to follow up real quick, if you don't know, I'm sure probably most of you folks here on here know, if you're a Shadow Dark fan, Kelsey's second Kickstarter is currently live as of this past Tuesday, and where her books, it is now sitting at $1.4 million as of this very second. So if that'll likely be fulfilled by Page 3. There's a good chance that those physical rewards will be out there. So if you're getting if you're in on the new Shadow Dark Kickstarter and you're getting your physical rewards, you're going to have the opportunity to get them signed by Kelsey, because she, of course, is going to be there again.
Yeah. And I received a note from Kelsey on Tuesday. Man, today has been absolutely crazy, far beyond my wildest expectations. We will have a lot to celebrate at Page. So very,
Yes.
very, very exciting. And, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight and bearing with us while we try to learn this new system. We call the show Friday Night Live. It could just as easily be called two old guys struggling with technology, talking about gaming. But I think, hopefully you found this entertaining and useful. And we do appreciate you all logging in. So
yes, we do. Yep.
All right. Well, listen, I'm as one of the two old guys struggling with technology, talking about gaming. I am absolutely beat. I was up at 3:45 this morning. I was in the office at 6. Came back home, took an hour-long nap, ran a 3-hour D&D game, and now online with this, and I'm going to get some shut-eye. But thank you, everybody, for logging in. Phil, any last words before we log off?
I don't. All I'll say is just kind of put this on your calendar if you're interested in hearing more. We are going to try and regularly broadcast this and that. I will say, unfortunately, next week already, next Friday. I mean, maybe we can do it remotely. I'll have my laptop with me out in Wisconsin at GaryCon. Maybe we can throw something together, or maybe we'll skip a week. We'll see. Or Wes will be on with you. So
yeah, we're gonna put Wes on, and you know what? I'm gonna challenge you. Maybe you grab you and Ed, and I'm gonna challenge you to find us a guest who's attending Page.
Okay.
Who will be out there, and we'll get them on we'll get them on the program as well. We can accommodate up to 10 people
Okay.
as guests on the program at one time.
There will be a number of those folks out there, and so hopefully, perhaps, maybe we can hop on for a couple of minutes while we're out there hanging out in Lake Geneva. So I'll talk to Ed about it, and we'll see what we can get
All
done.
right. And Wes, we might be able to stream this right to your channel as well next week if you want to stream it to DM Tales at the same time. All right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and keep on gaming.
Keep on gaming.